to Anchored at Harbor Park CrossFit, a show dedicated to helping you find enrichment for the other 23 hours of your day outside of the gym. Here's your hosts, Jason, Dave, and Corian.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're back, episode 49 of Anchored at Harbor Park. I'm Coach Jason.
I'm Coach Dave.
Coach Corian.
And we're here with a very special guest today, Jordan Savaglio. You want to give an introduction?
Hello. I am a husband, father, and a decent human being.
Pretty cool human being, if you ask me. So today we're going to kind of share and talk with Jordan about his story. It's a pretty cool story. It's a pretty deep story. And we're kind of excited to share it with you all. If you don't know Jordan, or even if you do know him, what he's going to talk about might come as a bit of a shock to you. So we're excited.
I'm excited to be here.
A fan of the show.
I'm a fan of the show. I do watch and listen, so this is a geek out moment for me to be in front of the mic talking to you guys. So let's get this thing going.
Yeah. Where do we want to start?
We can start anywhere, guys. I'm an open book here, so wherever you guys want to start.
We wrote down some questions, Jordan. So how'd you find CrossFit?
So it's a pretty funny story of how I found it. I'd actually just gotten fired from a job that I felt I was really good at. They just didn't have room for me anymore in the company. I got fired, and it was the first time sort of since I've had my little family, my wife and my son, that I was really scared of what was going to come and how I was going to do it. I had no idea what I was going to do. This was our life. This was how we lived on my job, and now I didn't have one. So it was very uncertain times. And I remember it was a Saturday afternoon, and I was flipping through the Netflix looking for something to watch, and I had saw like the Fittest on Earth documentary. And I knew about the sport, you know, I kind of have heard like the negative stuff about it. Oh, you get injured, all this, all that. By the way, it's all BS. It's not true. But I'd heard about it, but something about it just made me want to watch it. I don't know, like I had spent 10 plus years doing the bodybuilding style fitness before and had kind of fallen out of love with it, and as a result I had weight gain and self-confidence issues and stuff like that. But something just made me want to click it, so I clicked it and I watched it, and it was the year Ben Smith won, and which was an awesome finish.
It was the first year after Froning retired.
Yeah, but I instantly was like, this is pretty cool. This looks really hard, but looks pretty cool. So I became like a fan first. Like I wanted to watch YouTube videos, and I watched the documentary like 100 times after that. Like anytime I got free time, I would I would get that on and watch it. So I became a really big fan. And that's really how I got into it, was just out of being bored on a Saturday afternoon and clicking on it.
Awesome. So that basically, after watching that made you want to start?
Yeah, it made me want to start, and obviously had no job, had no income coming in really except for our savings, which was going to go towards other things that we needed, and we didn't have a whole lot of savings either, so we weren't going to last too long. So I was like, well, I mean, obviously this is a fantasy at this point. I'm not going to be able to do this for now, but I did get a membership to Experience Fitness, and I would look at the WOD of the day on the website.
The CrossFit
and I would
headquarters.
Try and do it in a regular gym setting. It just didn't work.
No,
they don't have the equipment. People don't like it when you do stuff like that. I learned that the hard way. But I tried my best to now try to fall back in love with fitness. So I got this gym membership to Experience, but it was just the same old stuff that I had experienced the previous 10 plus years of being alone, doing the bench, doing biceps, it all was just so routine and just boring.
Yeah, that's how Dave and I found CrossFit too. Is we didn't even really watch a documentary or anything. Dave had just heard about it, and we looked up a way that you could make WODs. and we were trying to do them at Anytime Fitness, and we had a lot of weird looks too.
Yeah, that's the same thing
Yeah.
I got. Like, and obviously I don't know the sport that well at this point.
Yeah.
So like I'm doing my best to do like a clean or a deadlift or whatever, and I probably look like a complete idiot.
Yeah, looking back
It's
now.
whatever.
Yeah, looking back now, I'm like, were they giving me weird looks because I was doing CrossFit in a regular gym, or because I was attempting to do CrossFit
Right.
and it was really bad?
Right. That's exactly how I think. It was probably a little bit of both, I'm sure.
So then, I remember you coming into the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I came in quite 2 times, I think,
Yep.
and just out of interest sake, and wanted information, wanted the rates, because that was going to be very important to me, how much this all was. I loved it, but I live in the world where money is king, so
Right.
I had to be able to afford it. And I remember, and those 2 times were very genuine times of getting information and wanting to do it. Obviously at those times it just wasn't going to be feasible for me, but I never gave up that fanboy attitude towards it.
Right.
I still watched it, I still kept up on the games, so I was very much still a part of it from a fan side, just eager to chomp away at actually getting into to do it. And at this point I'm still working out at Experience and just kind of dreading going in. Like, I know I want to do it, I should do it, but it's just like, God, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be doing these kind of workouts. It just
Yeah. Sometimes when there's like a light at the end of the tunnel and like you're gonna get there, getting through those like last little bit is always really tough because you're already thinking ahead of like what you actually want to be doing.
Yeah.
So
and that was one of the hardest parts was, like you said, I saw what I wanted and I couldn't yet grab it. And that was frustrating for me. But one of the other times, I would say it's the time that really hooked me in, and I think Dave, was the Open 2
Yep.
years ago.
Yep.
When I came that St. Patty's Day, which, oh my gosh, I'm looking forward to the St. Patty's Day one, just because it's kind of like full circle. Like,
Right.
that was the one I came to. Now I'm going to be in it, this St. Patty's Day workout, so that's awesome. That was what really hooked me in, though. Like, when I left that night, I knew somehow, some way I was going to be a part of this. I didn't know when, I didn't know how I was going to make extra money to do it, but I knew somehow, some way I was going to do it. I didn't know it was going to take quite as long as it did, but everything happens for a reason, and that's just the way that my path went.
So what did you do to get here then?
Well, it was not an easy road to get here. A lot of strain, tears, heartache, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, which are all things that I've been diagnosed with. When I lost my job, like I said, I was searching for purpose. I was, am I a good father? Am I a good husband? Am I a good human being? Everything was just up in the air for me as far as how I felt about myself in the world. So to say that I was in a dark place at that time is a complete understatement. We had spoken about this the other day, but I reached a point that was so low and so dark that the anxiety, sadness, depression, all that manifested into another personality. And that personality came out one day when I was watching my son, when my wife was at work, barely making money to get us by while I was wallowing in my sadness and depression. And I manifested into this other person who was talking badly about me, saying that I wasn't strong enough, that this new entity had taken over, and that it was done. Jordan was going to be dead. He wants to be dead anyways. And then I don't remember any of this. I blacked out for this. This was a complete blackout moment. I don't remember it. I woke up, 2 cops were on each side of me. I was sitting in my living room, and I had no idea what was going on. My dad came, my wife was freaking out, my dad was freaking out, and I don't know, like, that was such a big point of like, something is wrong. Something has to happen. And I never I think it's because in my family, there's a lot of history of mental illness, and I don't think anyone looks at mental illness in like a positive light. Most of the time, it's always like, oh, they're weird, they're crazy, they're whatever. So you never want to be stigmatized with mental illness that represents you. Right. But in my family, I guess, you could say it was unavoidable. At some point, something was going to probably happen. But I didn't want to think that I had anything mentally wrong with me. I always wanted to think of some other thing of why I was the way that I was, why I felt the way that I felt. But in the end, I think when you can come to grips with the fact that, hey, I have a mental illness, what can I do to manage it? Because the hard truth, and what some people I know probably don't want to hear, is that it doesn't really go away. It's always going to be there, but you can have enough tools in your belt to manage it and manage it well over time. And that's another thing. It's not, you can't wake up one day and go, well, my mental illness is gone, so I'm all good, I'm cured. It just doesn't happen that way. And you have to have tools in your arsenal, and one of my biggest tools through that process was God. God got me through this incredibly dark time, already writing my story, knowing that I was going to get out of it, and having faith in God to be able to get me to that point that I could not see yet because it was just too dark. I couldn't see it, but having that enough faith, the faith of a mustard seed, they say, can get you through it. The faith of a mustard seed to get out of it. And after that episode happened where I blacked out and everything happened, I wasn't allowed back home. And it wasn't because my wife didn't love me. It wasn't because she didn't care about me. In fact, it was because she did why she didn't want me there. She was freaked out. I was freaked out too. I had no recollection of what had happened over the course of almost 2 hours in that day. And she was fearful for our son. She was fearful for herself. So I went and stayed with my dad for almost 3 months. And once again, not knowing what the future held. Were we going to get a divorce? Was this going to be it? Now my family's going to be separated, and I'm still picking up odd jobs here and there, trying to figure this whole thing out. And that was another milestone moment when I got kicked out of my house. It was like, okay, I know you could sit here and feel sorry for yourself, and I got mental illness, and I need to take pills and all this. Sorry, I don't want to swear, but
yeah, don't worry, I'm here.
All this shit, but like, you got to do something, man. Like, something has to give. You can't keep feeling sorry for yourself that all this stuff has happened, because you play your part in why this happened. You wanted to ignore the fact that you had a mental illness for years, when if you could have addressed it sooner, maybe these things wouldn't have happened. So all these thoughts kept running through my head, and instead of taking it in a negative way, I took it all as positive. I said, no matter what, I'm going to take these things and make something good out of it. So it was about this time where things actually, once I had that revelation, things started to kind of move in a good place. I found a good job. We were able to provide. I was invited back into my house, which was very peculiar at first. Spending 3 months away and then coming back, you feel like a stranger in your own home. But it wasn't fixed at that point, but she felt that I was ready to come home. And I wanted to. I had wanted to the day that I left. And I was still going through the depression and sadness, not to the extent of the blackout, but it was at that point that the second kind of milestone in this journey happened, where my wife flashed papers. And I think everybody knows what papers are. Those separation papers, the divorce papers. She flashed them in front of my face. And she said, if this doesn't change, because I mentally and physically cannot do this anymore. Like, I was so bad and so depressed that it was making my wife physically ill. Like, she physically couldn't do it anymore. Yeah. She couldn't deal with me anymore. She said, if you don't change, I'm signing this. And it's official from my end. You do with it what you want, but I will sign it. And she had them up on the fridge. not like up hanging, but up on top of the fridge. So every once in a while, I'd, glance up there from time to time and, all right, something's got to change. I can't lose my family. I want this. I want my son. I want my wife. I want us all be a unit together. And it was probably, it was just a hard time. It was just a hard time in my life, going through all this stuff and also still packing on weight. Because I had, at this point, I had stopped going to Experience Fitness. I was just too whatever to work out. That was my excuse. Hey, I'm mentally ill, whatever, So I just stopped, let myself go completely to shit, eating whatever I wanted, eating the worst stuff in the world, and gained a bunch of weight. And that didn't contribute well to the situation at all. It made it 10 times worse, So basically, I looked in the mirror one day, which is usually where I get these like weight loss kind of thoughts, the revelations. When you don't take that 2-second glance, you take that 10-second glance. Because in 2 seconds you can visualize kind of whatever you want, but in 10 seconds you have to really stare. So I took that 10-second glance, and I saw what I had really looked like, not what I saw in my head, but what I actually looked like, and I knew that I was following this sport that I had grown to love. I had not yet started it. I needed to start it. I was like, this is how I'm going to get out of this, I think. I think this is going to play a big part in how I get out of this, is doing this. How do I do it? How do I find a job that's going to work with my work schedule? How do I find a job that's going to work with my life schedule? What am I going to do? So I started scouring for jobs that I could get to pay for the membership. And my wife, who, I'm just going to do a really quick shout out to my wife, who is probably the strongest woman that I will ever meet. She is a complete godsend to me. I believe God sent her here to bust my balls in a really positive, good way. And I love her so much. I mean, words can't explain how much I love my wife and everything that she's been through with me and done for me. She's awesome.
That's great.
So anyways, obviously I'm, scouring to find this second job, trying to find something. And she actually saw this job shipped, going to Meijer, getting stuff for people, bringing it to their houses. And I was like, yeah, I guess if I can make a decent amount of money, I'll try it. So I decided to take that on. So now I'm working a full-time job, doing this side job to pay for this membership. And I remember the day that I finally, because I said I want to have cushion in my separate account so that I can have a couple months stocked up in case something happens or whatever and I have to scramble. But I'll still have enough to do 2 or 3 months. So I remember when I got that much, and I was so excited to come in because it was almost like a fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I'm not gonna fool you a third time, Dave. This is real. I'm really doing this.
Yeah, I remember when you pulled in the parking lot.
So I remember coming in, and I don't know if I had the biggest, cheesiest smile on my face, but it seemed like it. And I was like, hey, I'm ready to sign up.
I remember.
And it was that was another moment of this is really happening. I'm really gonna be able to do this, And I remember going to, you got to go to the foundations class, and I remember doing that, and just as much as it hurt, it just felt so good to be a part of it. And now I was finally a part of it. And in a weird way, I don't want to say the feeling dwindled pretty quickly, but it was okay, now we get to work. I got this gut. Let's get rid of this thing. Now that joy of signing up, that's not going to get me through these workouts. Right. I got to put the work in now. Right. Let's do this thing. So that kind of faded pretty quick once I started getting into the workouts. And what really it comes down to is just how bad do you want anything? Yep. If you want something truly bad enough, then you'll get that second job to get it, or a third job. I actually have 3 jobs now. I do my full-time job, I do Shipt, and I do DoorDash. when one's not doing too good, I do the other one. That's kind of how it works. So
Nice.
So, but that's what I want to do this. This is important to me. This is a very important aspect of my life. You know, it's like anything, you know, I would do anything for my family, for my wife, for my son, you know, anything in your life, you should kind of have that mentality that if it means that much to you, you do whatever you can to do it or obtain it or learn it or whatever. You know, whether it's, you know, you're going to school and you got to cram for exam, then stay up all night and cram for it. If that's what you want to do, then do it. And the one thing that I've, you know, kind of eliminated is excuses. You know, I mean, I fractured my foot.
I remember that.
You know, I fractured my foot over the summer, and I came right to you, like the day after it happened, and said, "How can we still go?
Yeah.
How can we still make this work without this foot?" And you came up with a plan. And I keep talking about these kind of milestone moments. That was another one. The fact that this Coach Dave, modified a plan just for me so that I would be able to still be with everybody and work out was huge, because you damn sure don't get that at a regular gym.
No.
Right?
They're saying, well, you know, give us $100, we'll give you a deep tissue massage and spank your butt or whatever. I don't know. But that's what made me know, like, okay, I wanted this. I love that I have it. And I love the people in it. And that was it for me. Once you set up that plan for me, it was done. I had made up my decision. I love CrossFit.
Yay.
This is what I love. This is what I want to do. And I'm going to dedicate my fitness life and aspects of my life to this.
That's awesome.
And, you know, now we're sitting here. I'm more than 60 pounds down.
Wow.
Yeah, you showed us that picture.
I showed you the picture of my fat ass. Doing the Murph. Doing the half Murph. I'm going to do a full Murph this year.
That's right.
And then next year I'll do the vest, maybe. We'll see.
I can't wait. That means warm weather is coming.
But
I won't be in at regionals this year.
Oh,
so I'll be able to do it with everyone.
nice.
I'm actually excited for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, like seeing a picture of me really heavy and then now kind of where I'm at. But like, man, don't get me wrong, it's great. But like I said, I still have a lot of goals to accomplish. And the fact that I'm in better shape to accomplish them just means I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been a very interesting, not so fun, but fun ride. But I wouldn't trade it. You know, I think, like I said, God already wrote this story for me when I was in the dark place. I think he wanted me to do this to be able to get out of it, to help me get out of it. And for what all you guys do, the coaches, the community, you know, I don't think you'll ever truly understand what it means to me to be here, to do this, to be a part of the workouts. I mean, when I took a picture of that shirt, I got emotional when I got home and I laid it on my bed, and all that shirt, that open shirt represented to me, I got emotional. And that's where that Facebook message came from, because I really, truly wanted to say thank you to, oh man. No, I just truly wanted to say thank you to the coaches and everybody in this place, because you guys helped me get here to the open to be able to do it. And it's very important to me that I'm doing it now. Like, it's very, very important.
I love, you know, watching your journey and seeing you kind of blossom over this time. But I think truly, honestly, like, this is all you. You said it. Like, you didn't make excuses. You didn't try to blame outside circumstances for your life. And I think that's when people are able to make those changes, is just, you know, realizing that, like, this is what you're dealing with and we can't pretend that it's not there. And then what can you do about it? And I think that takes a super, super fucking strong person to do. So I commend you on that. I really do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And, you know, I just want to do this real quick, but for anybody out there who may be dealing with anything like what I'm talking about or something similar or whatever, feel free to reach out to me if you see me, or, you know, Facebook friend me or whatever. I'm more than happy to talk to anybody about this kind of stuff, or anything really. If you just want a friend, I'll be your friend.
Well, let's kind of expand on that. How has CrossFit helped you now that you've been doing it for for a little while?
Oh man,
Other than physically, like obviously you've lost weight.
From a social standpoint, it's helped me a lot. Newsflash, I had a little bit of social anxiety. I was a very isolated person. Really, just, and it wasn't that I didn't like people. It was just that I was kind of scared of them. When you get to a point where you're that low, you don't want to bring anybody else into that, so you keep it to yourself. But you're only like drowning in your own crap with no one to pull you out because you have no one around. So that's one of the other biggest things that this has done for me, is it's given me an outlet to find me in a social setting which hasn't really been existent for a long time, and actually be okay in a social setting, be comfortable, even, dare I say it, be funny, be loose, not be so stiff. And that's a testament to the group, though, just as much as it's a testament to me getting out and doing it, because people have to receive it. And this place is a bunch of freaking receivers. They're givers, but they are receivers. If you're throwing something at them, someone will catch it. And that is what's awesome about the people here. The fact that anyone's willing to cheer you on, go to bat for you, just anything you need. Like, someone will be there to help you. And it's expanded I wouldn't call myself alone anymore. I'm not isolated. I love going to the events. I love cheering people on, but that's kind of the biggest thing is I've been helped so much. Okay, now I got to pay it forward, so that's why I'm kind of reaching out through this way. Like, if anybody needs help, anybody wants to talk, want to be friends, I'm open. Like, just let me know. Come up to me. If you want my number, I'll give you my number. You want my address, can't have that. But I'll give you my number. I'll give you my email, and it, because if I keep that knowledge and that experience inside, then it doesn't really mean as much, So, and I'm still kind of working on that aspect of it. Like, okay, how do I share it? What do I do? Like, how can I be that person for someone else that someone was for me? But I'll get there at some point. But yeah, just the social aspect has skyrocketed with this, and that's why it's such a one-stop shop. Like, you really can't find this in any other fitness thing. The fact that you can get a good workout, a great workout in, and have these people who care about you and love you, all in the same place. Like, I couldn't go to Experience Fitness right now and be like, "Hey man, can I have a high five?" Be like, "Nah, get out of here." Doing my deadlifts right now, punk. So, it's like this is the only place that I've found that you can get both of those things.
Yeah, in the last couple of weeks, you brought your wife as well. Yeah. Your son's always around, so I've met him a few times, but it was nice to meet her for one.
Yeah, and she is going to the Y.
Yeah,
She's
good.
Swimming and doing some kind of yoga, Pilates type stuff. So
awesome.
Super, super proud of her for doing that too. And I told her if she needs any help. I'm not going to be a big push right now for CrossFit, obviously. Honey, it's
this is your
we'll
thing.
see. We'll see. Yeah. But I'm just proud of her for going to the Y, putting that effort and time in, because she is, like I said, she's an amazing person, and I'm a very lucky guy to have her.
That's awesome.
So Jordan, what has been your biggest accomplishment, physically, mentally, whatever, and then what's your next big goal?
Okay, well, my biggest accomplishment physically is losing 60 plus pounds.
It's huge. Yep. Good job.
It's literally huge. Just being, I'm so much light. Like, I can't even remember being 60 pounds heavier. Like, that's how much time has kind of passed since then.
Isn't that weird? Go grab 2 30-pound medicine balls, see how that feels.
That's what I'm saying. Like I can't imagine that now. Like, me like that. So that was my biggest goal. And that was a goal that I came in with, was I want to lose weight. I didn't have a specific number, but I knew I want to lose a significant amount of weight to be able to improve in these workouts. And I've done that. As far as goals in the future, Oh my gosh, let's get a little top 5 list. Pull-ups. I want to do strict pull-ups. Double unders. I want to get a decent amount of double unders in a row. All of the Olympic lifts I want to get stronger at. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. But that, and some might say, oh man, that's a lot of stuff. How you get it? Bro, that's what life is about. You set benchmarks, and even if you don't get there now, you can just keep working at it until you do. So that's my mentality going into this next year, this 2019 year was, okay, now you've lost some weight. We're going to continue to lose a little bit here, a little bit there, tone up and all that stuff. But now we're going to really focus on the movements, getting better, getting stronger, getting faster, getting more efficient. Like, for one thing, the last open workout that we had, I did it twice. So I did it and I redid it. First time I did
Ouch.
Yeah, that was a big ouch. First time I did it, I wasted a lot of time I was doing knees to, knee ups.
Knee raises,
yeah, the knee raises. And then I was wasting a lot of time hovering by the bar for the other part. So on my second time, I said, all right, I'm going to be more efficient with my time, because I think that's why I didn't do quite as well as I thought I was going to do. So I ended up going unbroken on the first knee raises, and I was told, like, no, don't do that by everybody. But I was like, hey, I felt good. I was in rhythm. So I was like, why stop? So I ended up getting the jump ropes done, and I really limited the amount. So basically what I did for, what was the movement?
The squat clean.
Yeah, the squat cleans is I would do the squat clean, and then I'd put it down, but I'd almost immediately put my hands back on the bar. Even if I wasn't going to immediately pull it up, I'm not wasting time shaking out. My hands are on the bar. I might take a quick breath and come back.
Yep.
So I reevaluated my strategy, and it worked. I did better the second time around.
Awesome.
So it's little things like that now, the little details. I would say this first year was like going to high school, and now I've gotten my high school diploma, losing weight and all this stuff, getting a knowledge of terminology and movements and stuff. Now it's time to get the bachelor's degree, and kind of move on and really get in depth with these movements and how to strategize for workouts and stuff like that. So those are some of my goals, is just to be more efficient at this now.
I really like that as a goal. I don't hear that a lot when I do people's goal sessions. So obviously, one of the big things that I talk about with people is, like, I can't guarantee that your clean and jerk is going to get heavier. But if you put in the effort and you put in the work for the techniques and the drills and becoming more efficient, then it's going to get heavier. So
Yeah, right.
I really like that.
And I've completely, I had pretty much no ego going into this. Now my ego went somewhere. I don't know where it went. But it's completely gone now. And I think that's kind of how you have to approach it sometimes, is like, you may have something in your head, but it might not match what your body can do, but that's okay. As long as you're putting in the maximal effort that you can do. Don't let because sometimes I think egos can bruise kind of going forward too. If your ego won't let you say, okay, this is where I'm at, instead you keep trying and trying, and you could be at risk for injury, and you could not go as far. Whereas if you were to maybe take a step back, and I know this might seem crazy, but sometimes taking a step back to your abilities can actually move you forward faster than if you just tried to push through the heavy weight or whatever.
Doesn't sound crazy to us.
But I fully endorse like that kind of mindset of just.
Yeah, because we had to do that with you. I remember we were doing back squats one day, and we reduced the bar a lot, and we focused on your knee positioning and your foot positioning,
But it felt so much better.
Right.
And I felt like I was getting so much lower because my form was better. Like, if I go with that shitty form, I'm probably never going to increase weight ever.
Right.
Because there's always going to be something wrong, something off. Whereas if I get the form and I can get low and I can get stronger on that back up, then it's going to improve over time. So you're not selling me anything I haven't already bought 10 packs of.
Love it. It's just like your whole journey. You're just accepting where things are in life, and then what can you do about them. So same thing with the mental health issue. You accepted that this is what is life. What do I do? Same with our workouts. This is reality. This is where my workout is, and then what do I do from there?
And also, I think Dave and Jason, I had said this to you guys, but when I, let's just say I have an off day on a workout and I don't feel like I did quite as bad, it's never going to be as bad as that dark place that I was.
Right.
So I can always have that to look at and to form things around. Like, at least I'm not there. I got a good workout in. Maybe it wasn't exactly what I wanted, but I still got a good workout in. And I'm not that person anymore. So that's a win.
Right.
Now, and by no means, for anybody out there listening, like, by no means am I saying that now everything's easy.
No, I'm sure.
Everything is still hard. Life is hard in itself. Challenges come up, things come up. Arguments with my wife still happen. I mean, my kid is 4 now, so that has its own challenges. But it's really about how you approach those things, though. My approach in the dark times was very bad. My approach now is very different. I look at things differently. I approach things differently. I look to solve issues, not compound them with my own sadness, my own depression. I want to fix things now. I don't want to be a part of the issue. I want to be a part of what helps the issue.
Mm-hmm. It's a very good mindset. You're basically everything we talk about and preach, you've kind of adopted it as your own.
Like I told you, I bought 10 packs of whatever you guys were selling. So, and then some more stored in the back. So.
Right.
But yeah, this is, for me to buy in like this, I think people that may have know me from my past would be like, Jordan did that? Really? He does CrossFit?
Yeah.
And he's doing stuff with it. He's lost weight and he's doing this open thing where people are around. It's yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing. Some people, I think, can get stuck in this mindset of, I am who I am. I can't change that. I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. I think if maybe there's a deep-rooted thing that we can't change or something, I can never change the fact that I have a mental health issue. But there's so many tools that I can use now to manage it that's a change. How you deal with things is a change. And over time, if you do something enough, it just becomes a part of your life. So to say that you can't change, I think you're just looking at it weird. You're looking at a situation from an angle that I don't look at it at anymore. Because I think anybody can change. Yeah. Anybody can change if they take the right steps to do it. And that's where, find resources online, doctors, stuff like that. Find somebody or something to help you. Because that's the biggest thing that held me back was my ego and my sadness was no, you don't have a mental health issue. It's just something else. When I accepted it, that's when change happened. But I understand that that's really the hardest part is accepting that you have it. So I am Jordan, and I have a mental health issue. And I do CrossFit, which makes me mental.
I love it.
But I'm okay with that.
In the best way.
In the absolute best way.
That is a great story. I don't think a lot of people know about that at all. I know there's a lot
People
of that.
Are gonna be crying.
Yeah.
No, don't cry for me, please. Please don't. No, and like I said, I'm gonna keep saying this just so people who maybe are coming in now, you can reach out to me. If you see me in the gym, say hi. If you're going through something, you want a friend, believe me, I'm here. And we don't have to talk about deep stuff. We can just talk about sports or the weather. No, not the weather, but we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. I want to be there for people. Like I said, I want to pay this forward. So if anybody needs anything, come to me. I know that's a bold statement to make, but come to me.
Awesome.
I like that.
Thank you, Jordan. That's an amazing story.
No, thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having a place. Otherwise,
Right.
I don't know where I would have went.
Cool.
Well, I'm glad you could share your story with other people, and I'm excited to get this one out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're going to give some inspiration to some people.
All right. That's the whole point.
Keep crushing those workouts, man. We'll see what 19.3 brings us.
Bring it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, you guys got anything else?
Nope.
Jordan, you got any
thank
questions
you,
for us?
No.
No?
No.
All right.
Not at the moment.
All right, then we'll end this episode like we always do. Stay classy, Harbor Park.
Bye, guys.
Adios.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Anchored at Harbor Park CrossFit. If you would like further information about our programs, visit www.harborparkcrossfit.com. We hope you'll tune in next time.